ASEAN Dailies. First and the foremost news from Southeast Asia.
Hey, this is Arlene.
Hi, welcome back. This is Grace.
And of course, you are still with us. This time we will discuss on the trends in Southeast Asia. So Grace, are you scared of climate change?
I am sort of very concerned when it comes to climate change.
Why?
Because a lot of things are happening. I mean, we expected this a long time ago. And some of them are, they have become quite reality and we are facing them.
That's true. I mean, now it's getting way hotter than before in Malaysia.
Right.
But you know, when it comes to surviving climate change, preserving the environment is one thing, but in the long run, I think technology play a more important role.
That's right. I mean, the countries in Southeast Asia such as Cambodia, the Philippines, Vietnam, a lot of countries, people from there, especially in rural areas, they have been suffering from these changes. I mean, I'm talking about climate change here.
That's true. And the situation of the drought or El Nino is getting worse in some countries in Southeast Asia, especially in the month of June and May. But nowadays, I think it's getting a bit more cooler. Now we are facing another threat, which is which is La Nina. Constant rain and the weather is getting a bit more cooler, but not necessarily in a good way. But to survive climate change means that we need to focus on the kind of technology to make our agriculture more efficient and to make our monitoring system, especially satellite monitoring,
That's right.
more modernized.
So in this, you talked about the satellite monitoring. It's quite modern, but many of the other techniques now being promoted in the region to improve water use involved new twist on method as ancient as a dowsing. So for instance, digging wells to capture excess water during floods can both reduce the impact of the flood and save water for dry seasons.
Oh, wow.
So we are sort of going back to the method in the ancient times, but at the same time we are using the technology to modernize it and also to be able to implement it in a better ways.
And besides agriculture, also when it comes to fisheries, it's also equally important. Fish could be one key to help the region to adapt. According to the U.S. Agency for International Development, which is working with World Fish, they have spent $2 million in Cambodia, helping communities diversify from just growing rice to catching fish in their rice fields when they are flooded in rainy season. So you are using your problems to make it into profit and
That's
food.
Right. Yeah, that's quite a smart move, I will say. And also in addition to that, there's an app for it as well. It's called the Rice Crop Manager cell phone application.
Wow.
Which provides the recommendation to farmers on the things like fertilizer, and the researchers are working on including warning about all the salinity levels as well.
Welcome back. This is Arlene Tan.
And this is Grace Jo.
You're still with us on our trends on Southeast Asia. So when it comes to internet economy, Southeast Asia is definitely growing at an accelerating pace.
Yes, that's right. I mean, we are talking about over 600 million people in Southeast Asia. And just imagine, not everyone there, but the most of them, we do access to the internet nowadays, and it's becoming more and more.
Yeah, and according to a report by TechCrunch, apparently by 2025, do you know how much money or revenue that Southeast Asian will receive or will get through its internet economy?
How much will that be, Aline?
It's $200 billion. Can you imagine that?
Wow, so for tech industry, they will looking at some positive incomes in near future.
Yeah.
Well, beyond the headline of the 200 billion on that research, right? When it comes to a lot of like platforms we're talking about, like the famous Google, even the e-commerce platforms, that will definitely grow, and it could be worth $88 billion, and that's we are talking about when they are growing at 32% per year. And then there is an online travel market that could reach a huge $1 billion as well. And then the taxi on-demand services, we know one of them, and a few of them very famously, they could hit about $13 billion and 29 million monthly riders.
Wow, there's a lot of numbers to be churned out. And all this report is made possible because of a report released by Singaporean sovereign wealth fund Temasek and also Google. So they have been doing this research for quite some time, and from what we are seeing here, there are plenty of challenges if Southeast Asia were to gain their 200 billion US dollar. One of it is, of course, they need more tech talent,
Right.
and they need to have to reduce the barrier around payment, inconsistent regional logistics, and immature consumer behavior. So these are the things that we would need to look into if Southeast Asia were to be a giant in the internet economy.
That's right. And on top of that, one of the challenges that we can also talk about is internet penetration in rural areas in Southeast Asia, because despite the increase in number of accessing to the internet, there are still a lot of people or population in certain areas that they can't access to internet, and sometimes internet speed rate is quite poor in certain areas.
Hey, welcome back. This is Arlene.
This is Grace.
And you're still with us on Trends in Southeast Asia. The biggest trend right now in Southeast Asia, I think we don't need to have a formal introduction. You know it. It's something that has been a huge trend even in the 90s.
Right.
I'm talking about Pokemon, but this time they released an app. It's called Pokemon Go.
That's right. I mean, it's been very viral for the past few days already. And except just a few countries, there are already countries that have accepted this app and have been using it quite at a large amount. And especially teenagers, they have been actively using this. And we've received some results of all those activities.
That's true. And according to a report by Jakarta Post, this new smartphone game, which is based on cute Nintendo characters like Squittles and Pikachu, I think everyone remembers Pikachu, can actually, guess what, be harmful to your health.
Well, it was reported before that because of all those lot of movements and activities, they have been working out unconsciously at the same time. They also had some damage problem to the health or even their injuries.
But how?
I guess because it's a way of finding their characters on Google Map or even on GPS. So the movement, as in like throwing the Pokeballs to certain place, or even the running to the certain destination.
Oh, so they have to physically run it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's...
So they can
I never really play it, so I thought it's just in the virtual reality. I didn't realize it's something that you need to physically do it.
Yeah, you need to physically do it because the characters are sort of interspacing on your phone.
I see.
So you have to like get them to get the points. That's the basic rule.
So you need to switch on your GPS then if you want to play it.
So like I can see you and then there will be a Pokemon in front of you. Then I have to catch it. In order to catch it, I need to throw a Pokemon ball. So there are some rules and there are some like tips also going on online, and then lot of teenagers.
Oh my god, no wonder it's so much fun. It incorporated virtual reality in the app game.
So yeah, I mean, of course, the real world and versus virtual creatures. That's why a lot of people are fascinated with this game or /app on mobile phones.
And apparently, according to this report, that a lot of people are facing injuries just to get their Pokemon. And some of them, if you look at the photos, they have to go through, they went through bumps and they crashed into something. They hurt their feet, they have their leg bruised, which is kind of violent.
It is. I mean, one of the cases is there was this girl with her boyfriend. They spent hours wandering around the downtown in the rain.
Oh, wow.
And of course, they trip over certain blocks and then they ended up getting bruises. So it's just a sleepless night for them to find Pokeballs.
Yeah. Talking about the ability of this game, I think yesterday we shared the story about